I'm about to spark. No, she don't love me no more. Ain't even funny no more. She had to move on. It's someone who got what she need. I only got what she want.
Hello, welcome back to Letsbereal. It's your girl Kerri.
And it's the girl Shakira.
So we've been gone for so long, guys. We just had to take a little break. Something is happening in life. And someone is 20. I am 20 years old. Yeah, very exciting journey. I turned 20 like 4 days ago. And yeah, your girl is 20.
And I'm 22. Just turned 22 on the 2nd of August.
Oh yeah, she had a birthday. So we both had been missing. We had a birthday. We're all grown. Okay, let's get into today's episode.
Okay. Today's episode is going to be based on fantasies. Yeah. I know that a lot of people be going through, just have loads of thoughts in their head. I'm here to tell you that every thoughts in your head, you have to literally go by. Yeah.
Yeah, fantasize. I feel like the main topic today is going to be about fantasizing, basically how fantasizing can be wrong. Like, if you're in your head all the time, it can be really bad. To the point that you're not able to bring out what, put into practice or actually put out what you actually want to do. Because some people fantasize about having a job, but actually, because they really fantasize about it, they don't really actually do the action to let them get the job. So rather just fantasize about it that to the point that they don't actually do the work to actually get what they want. Even fantasizing in a relationship as well is really bad too, because you're fantasizing about your partner that you want, but sometimes that's not always the case, and you can actually miss your blessings because you're fantasizing about things that may not actually be realistic. For example, you may fantasize that you want a dream boy, you want someone that's always there for you, that's always gonna be there, always basically someone that's supposed to be a yes man, basically. And in reality, that's not something that can actually happen, because not everyone's perfect. You can't really expect perfection from a human being, but because you picked up the perfect man in your head, it's so hard to even in real life get someone on your level, because in your head you already have this perfect guy, but that perfect guy doesn't exist. Yeah, fantasizing can be really bad and scary. I've recently just discovered it as well. Fantasizing is not always alright. It can fantasize too much to the point where you're not actually putting in the work to act out your fantasies that you want, basically.
For example, someone can actually fantasize about the dream life they have. Somebody might want to have a big house, have a car, have a specific guy in their head, or what they want the guys to look like, speak like, act like. I need to understand that that's not realistic at all. Marriage is hard, and you might not have everything that you want in life, because it's impossible to have everything you want in life. You're always going to want more. Literally. So I feel if you're going to fantasize, be realistic about the things you're fantasizing about, and make sure that you're not just fantasizing on the things that's unhealthy for you. Yeah. Because a lot of people see loads of things on social media and they believe that, that's what real life is like. And then try to fantasize that and try to put their self into that particular place. And you need to understand that that's far from the truth. No fantasy is true. You need to understand that what's real is what is literally what you're in right now. That's real. Your reality is literally what's real to you. Stop trying to literally think too much out the box, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I feel fantasizing is bad because you're so in your head that you don't actually put into practice what you want to do. For example, I saw this podcast, this girl, it's called Save Not Stuff. It's a Christian podcast by Amy Moore, and it really highlighted so much things. She'll just say stuff she used to fantasize. She'll see someone on her Instagram and she'll be fantasizing, thinking about the life that she wants, basically that, but in reality she knows she doesn't want that life, but she fantasizes about it to the point that she starts to desire that lifestyle. And it's so bad because your life is perfect, but because you're overpowering thoughts, so you're fantasizing, in your brain about a specific lifestyle that you're not actually content in the lifestyle you're in. So you have to be careful about fantasizing. Like, sometimes we even fantasize a toxic relationship because we feel like it's normal, and that is so bad, because until we realize that a toxic relationship is bad, we're always going to think, oh yeah, that a toxic relationship is going to be good, because in our head we already had that picture saying, okay, because we fantasize, we low-key want it, and because we low-key want it, when we get a perfect, like, when you get someone that's basically a stable, content, and actually is in a good person to be in a relationship with, because we add that toxic relationship in our head, we can't actually get with someone that's good for us, because in our head we want a toxic relationship, and if it doesn't match that, we're not even going to be able to give ourselves to that good person, even though we know it's good, basically. So be careful how you fantasize, because it can be really damaging to your life if you're not careful. Yeah, I thought about that recently, and it's so deep, honestly.
Another, like, example, some people fantasize about toxic relationships. They see a certain relationship and they think, oh, every relationship is based on that. Like, it's based on arguments and just chaotic. And relationship is not based on that. So fantasizing about having a toxic relationship. Toxic is not fun. Having peace is more important than actually being with someone that's actually very toxic. So I feel like a lot of people in society right now, they literally fantasize having a relationship that's based on that, based on toxicness, based on literally just based on unhealthy things. You need to understand that peace is what you're looking for, not toxicness. So yeah, a lot of people fantasize about stuff like that.
Like, for example, we can fantasize about basically being, like, when you have an argument with someone and they're being rude to you, we can fantasize about, oh, what we want to say to them, but like we don't actually say it. And that's also because you're not actually executing what you actually want to say. You're just in your head about it. And that can be really bad, because how is someone going to read your thoughts? Like, in your head, you're like saying all these things about them because it hurt your feelings. But instead of telling them that hurt your feelings, you're keeping quiet and in your head about it. And that's really damaging, because you're not actually proclaiming how you feel, and you're just bottling it up inside. And that can be really damaging as well.
Another thing you need to realize as well, that it can actually cause mental health problems. Yes, it really can. You can actually, like, if you're always in your head constantly, that actually can cause anxiety. So when you're reading a book, like, for example, when you're reading a book or like watching a movie, that's actually you. Like, you can start watching it, but you're actually injecting that into your head, into your spirit as well. So make sure that and if you're constantly doing that, to point out, yeah, you can't literally live out fantasizing about something. Like, for example, you'll be walking and your head is literally racing, and you're constantly racing to the point you're not even in the present. You're literally in your head constantly. That can actually cause anxiety. So I'll say be careful what you fantasize about, because yeah, it can actually be really damaging to your mental health.
And because we're so used to doing it all the time, we don't realize that it can be really damaging. Because you're so used to it, like, it's so hard to be like, oh, it's damaging. But like, when you actually sit back and realize, you'll be like, okay, this is actually damaging. Like, it actually affects me more than I actually think. And because like it's so like easy to do, we don't see it as a problem. Like, for example, like, we idolize our thought. We can even idolize our thoughts so much, like make up scenarios in our head that's not actually real, and actually go by it, basically. And that's so damaging, because like in real life, it's literally damaging your own relationships or damaging your own self. Because I was reading this like book, and it was just saying how like this woman, she had a husband, right? And obviously like her husband wasn't doing the right things, but like because she had like made up a fantasy of her husband in her head, she was so used to that fantasy that she couldn't even execute her real life problems, because to the point that she was attracted to her actual husband physically. It's so crazy, but she wasn't attracted to her husband physically, but in her head she was. And she was like, to the point that their marriage life went really bad because she was still always struggling. And we realized that it's because she was like making up scenarios in her head of the perfect husband, to a point that she got so used to that image in her head that she didn't realize that's not what her husband is like, and they kept having problems because she saw him differently. Like it's so weird that fantasizing really can be really damaging, and because everyone does it, like everyone fantasizes, like, but you just like be careful how you fantasize the things that you do and that you think of. It's so easy to get caught up in that cycle.
Another thing that people do as well, they have like couples on their phone, like their front screen, like couples on their front screen, and they say, "Oh, I want a relationship that look like that. They're all cute and whatever." You need to understand that that's just no. You could that's just too much. Having a couple on your front screen say, "Oh, you want that," because you're fantasizing about what you want your relationship to look like, not even actually what you want it to be. If you literally constantly looking at pictures and thinking, "Oh, they're cute together," whatever, you need to understand that relationship is not based on just showing off that you're cute and you're the perfect couple. It's literally based on actual work. So make sure that your fantasy is actually being realistic. Fantasizing is not wrong. Don't get me wrong, it's not wrong at all. So like, for example, we read a book, you're literally fantasizing about the characters in the book. Literally, as a human, we're supposed to fantasize because it should get us out of reality for a moment. Like, for example, you're reading a book where you're literally watching a movie, you literally think about the movie at the moment. But if you're constantly, in your day-to-day life, constantly fantasizing about things that's not unhealthy, that's very damaging. Because you're supposed to live in reality, not in your head constantly.
And you won't be able to execute the things that you actually want to do. Like, you can be like, "Oh, I really want this job, I really want to do better in life," but because you're so fantasizing about it, you're so content with it, you're not actually putting in the work to actually get it done. Because in your head you already have it, but you don't. And because you have it in your head, you're okay with that. And that's a bad place to be, because you think, "Okay, I'll do this. Like, actually, some people be like, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that," but don't actually get it done because they're so content with it in their head that they don't want to actually bring out the plans that they have in their head. And it can be really damaging because you could want better, you could want to do more, but you're so content with it being in your head, like you don't actually want to execute the plans to actually get it done. So yeah, like, make sure your desires are pure when you're fantasizing. Make sure that if you do fantasize, that it's about things that have already happened or about life in general. Like, just make sure your fantasizing is not purely like just things that are not real, basically. Like, fantasize, obviously imagine it that you want to have this dream life, but that be okay if you're actually not going to the plan, because you can want all these things that actually not actually get it, because that's not the plan that God has for you. That's what the reality of it is. Like, maybe you're fantasizing about this dream job or you want this, and then it don't actually work like that. So just be careful.
Another thing as well, some people can actually have dark Anyway, another thing you need to know about is dark fantasies as well. You can actually fantasize about literally weird things. And you think, "Oh, what's wrong with me? Why I'm thinking about certain things? I should be thinking about that." You understand? Not every thought that comes to your head you're supposed to meditate on.
Not every thought is yours, either.
Literally. So make sure that if fantasizing is fine, make sure your fantasizing is literally not too wrong to the point that you're thinking, "What the heck am I thinking about?" Some people have dark fantasy and literally try and bring it into their reality. Like, some serial killers fantasize about killing people, and then next thing you know, they will go and kill people. Like, just make sure you're thinking about pure thoughts. So you make sure when you're fantasizing, you're not fantasizing too much
about dark things.
About dark, unrealistic things.
Yeah, fantasizing can be really damaging sometimes. Like, just be very careful how we like fantasize the things we do. Just be very careful, because not every thought is ours. Like, sometimes we're scrolling through Instagram and be like, "Oh, this person's lifestyle so good, like, oh, it's so nice," but we don't know the reality of it. We'll see what they want us to see, and we think, "Oh, it's nice." Like, for example, we live in a generation now where toxic relationship is glorified. Like, we love toxic relationship, but it's like, why? Why does the world portray that toxic relationship is good? Because it's not. It's very wicked. It's very, very, very damaging to someone's life, and it's not cute. But because we see like it all the time, our heart may actually want a toxic relationship without even realizing. And it's like, why would you even want that? But because you're fantasized about toxic relationship in your head and you're so used to it, and you actually like it, you're fantasized by it, but you don't actually want it. But then because when you actually get it in person, you're gonna run away from it because you don't want that. But because you're fantasized about it, so when a good person comes on, you won't even get it because you're fantasized about wrong things. You fantasize about wrong things like toxic relationships, and you actually bring it into reality. That's the thing, that your fantasies can actually go into reality and make it, and it can be very bad. So just be careful when fantasizing or thinking of things that are not actually there. Like I saw in the Bible, it says a man that chases fantasies will basically be lost and go astray. But a man that builds his land basically makes time to do the things that he's supposed to do and actually put in petition is actually more wise. But you chase fantasies is basically just being a fool, because it's not going to go into reality if you just chase it in your head and not actually putting the work in to actually bring your fantasies to life, basically.
That also brings me to the point of, like, basically when you're watching movies or watch anything and then you try to literally picture that as your own reality, like, oh, you just not that. That's why watching TV is so bad. If you constantly watch TV, it's really bad because you're literally not literally in reality anymore. You're literally in a fantasy world. You literally watch something and literally that's all you're seeing is literally TV. That's why I would say make sure you spend more time in reality and not just fantasizing about things that's literally not true. So yeah, and that goes for literally guys that struggle with loss. They fantasize it about girls on social media, and to the point that when they find someone that's actually right for them, they can't literally appreciate it because they have an image in their head what they want the girl to look like, dress like, act like, which is far from reality, because not everything you see on social media is true. People literally are not like, not everyone is on social media is have a perfect life. You don't understand that. It's just an image.
Yeah, it's just an image. Like, everyone's not actually living the lifestyle that they say they are, and we could be fantasized by it, thinking, oh yeah, that's what we want. But is that, do we actually want that for ourselves? We need to think about the things that we're thinking about. That's definitely something that we should take from this episode today, is that to think on the things that you're thinking about, because you need to check yourself and be like, okay, what am I thinking about? Why am I thinking about this? Because it can even fantasy can put you in a bad mood. Like, for example, you think of something that someone did to you, like, 5 years ago, and then you'll be angry today, and you'll be like, why the heck am I angry? Because you thought about someone that hurt you.
Not even that. Some people can actually fantasize about things that's not even true. They literally make up a scenario in their head about them, I don't know, having a fight with their boyfriend. Bear in mind, they probably have no boyfriend, but they literally make, like, oh, the whole image in their head about them having a boyfriend, having a fight, find out he's cheating. It's like literally how literally weird fancy in your head to the point that you could wake up and just feel angry and down. And it's because you think about things that's not even true. Literally, you can literally cause an argument from the images you can literally cause an argument because you're thinking about things in your head. For example, someone can literally dream about their boyfriend cheating on them. They wake up angry with their boyfriend. Say, oh, I dreamed that you're cheating on me. And it's a bit like, that's a dream. So you need to be careful what you literally meditating on. And just make sure you think about what you're thinking about.
Think of things that you're thinking about. That's literally what I feel like the episode should be.
Yeah.
The episode name should definitely be think on things you're thinking about. Because most definitely we should think on things that we're thinking about. Because some of the things we're thinking about is the cause of the issues that we have right now. Mm-hmm. For example, let's just say this right now. I saw this that said, oh, why did I have sex with I saw this girl was like, oh, why did I have sex with my ex? Like, and she's like, oh, I can't believe that this happened. Like, why would I have sex with my ex after I know what he did to me? Because you've been fantasizing about him. You've been looking at his Instagram. You've been stalking him on his Snapchat story, watching what he's doing. You didn't block him. So it was bound to happen that you were going to miss him and end up having sex with him. So you'd be thinking, oh, this just came out of nowhere, but did it? Did it really? There's always a cause to why things happen. Always. What was it that drove you to it? Obviously, what drove you to it was, okay, you missed him because you're, what? Looking at his socials, you're going through his TikToks, you're looking at his Insta, you were just basically meditate on the past with you and him. Of course, when you see him, you're gonna have those same exact feelings, be like, oh, okay, and then what he did to you was literally thrown out of your head because you're thinking on the past with you and him. So fantasizing can be really damaging, especially because why are you thinking about your ex when you know what he did to you, but you're only remembering like the good things. You're only remembering the good things that you had and like all the extra stuff, and then you wonder why you went back to him. Just be careful the things you think about. We put ourselves in situations, without even realizing. Honestly, like, we need to be careful, guys, because we can put ourselves in situations that we don't even want in the first place. Because why we thinking about our ex and then be shocked that we end up sleeping with them? Like, but you thought about him, you've been thinking about him for time, you've been watching his social for time. Obviously you missed it, so therefore, when you see him, it's going to be the exact same feeling, no?
The key is to literally not meditate on things that you know that's not right for you. You know you're not supposed to do certain things. You're in control of your mind. So make sure that you're not acting on every thought that comes to your head. Make sure that you think about what you think about, like I said. At the end of the day, that's all you have. So whatever you make your reality, it literally stays. So make sure that you think what you're thinking about and not just act on impulse.
Yeah, just don't act on your impulse. Just be careful of the thoughts that slip into your head. Not every thought is yours. Not every thought comes from you. There's attention behind every single thought that you have. Check your heart every single time when you think on things, and you'll realize your problems. Check your heart. Every time you're gonna do something, check your intention why you're gonna do it. Always check your intentions. You can't go wrong.
It also made me think about people that actually don't take accountability as well. People that actually don't believe they're doing anything wrong. That's scary to me because you need to know yourself. You need to know how you think. And you need to know if you're doing something wrong or not. Because if you can't check yourself, you're going through life basically acting on impulse. Acting on every emotion you're feeling. You're not really meditating on what you're feeling in. You're not meditating on the things you're not actually thinking about what you're thinking about because you're acting on impulse. So if you don't know your toxic traits, if you don't know your good trait, if you don't know certain things about yourself, even though you're literally yourself, that's a problem. It means that you're not aware of yourself. You're not aware of anything you're doing. And you're constantly blaming other people. So I always say this, make sure you know when you're wrong. Make sure you know when you're right. And all the way for you to actually know that is to actually think about what you're thinking about. Literally.
Think about what you are thinking about.
It's not time we say that. Think about what you're thinking about.
Literally, because that's the key of this topic, guys. Think about what you're thinking about. Honestly, because if you don't, it's going to catch up to you in the long run. It really will. We are the cause of our problems. I'm going to keep saying that. Certain things, are out of our control. But majority of things that we go through sometimes are the cause of our own problems. We're the cause of our own problems. We literally create issues for ourselves and then we execute it. And then that's what happens. That's where it stems from. Or it starts with one desire, one thought, and one action. Oh, that was good. One desire, one thought, and one action. That's where it takes literally ruin something in your life. And I think people don't understand that. There's one desire that comes. There is an action after that desire. For example, you be thinking, oh, why did I end up having sex? Because you thought about him, desired it, and you acted out the action. So be careful what you're desiring. Be careful what you put in your mind, what you dwell on. It's just so important. Encourage yourself to do good things. Encourage yourself to be a good person. Encourage yourself to do loads of things. But be careful of the things that you're putting in your head and your mind and you're thinking on. For example, you can even use fantasy to escape your real life. Because you don't like your real life, so you think, let me just escape it in my head. But really and truly, it's damaging because you know that's not your real life. You know your wife is literally whack. Like, let's be real. You know your life is actually whack, and that's and if it is, I'm sorry, that's because of you sometimes. Because you're not putting in the work to actually make your life better. You're just sat there not doing nothing. But really and truly, it's because you're too content, you're too comfortable in your head. Get out of your head. Stay out of your head. Look at your life in reality. Be present in the moment. Stop chasing the future and future things, and be present in your life. Be present so you're able not to like run away with your fantasies and then be upset at your own reality. Stop running away from your problems by fantasizing. Literally accept your reality and accept that you need to make moves and changes to be fully changed.
It also brings me to the point of people that go through trauma, because they're literally going through trauma. The way for them to escape is to literally think about things, fantasize about things that are literally not reality. In that case, okay, that's a way of coping. But when they got that trauma, do you think they're gonna be able to accept reality? They're not. They're gonna need help to actually accept reality, because they're no longer literally in that toxic environment, but they're going to end up being toxic because that's all they know. So you need to be careful, and you also need help as well for people that actually go through trauma and stuff like that. So yeah,
don't use fantasizing as a way of escaping, because it will never end well. Don't use fantasizing for a way of escaping. It will never go well at all. So just be careful what you put in your mind. Meditate on good things, pure things. Yeah. Hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone has a nice summer so far. Summer's coming to an end for people in the UK, because
it's just not giving.
What are we doing? It's not giving. It's not giving at all. It's not giving at all. Like, this summer has been so bad. Like, I don't even know what I've done. Honestly, I don't even know what I've done. Like, oh gosh, life is weird right now. I feel like everyone's like in a weird season right now. I definitely am in a weird season. Like, I'm in a good season. I feel like there's a lot of refining going on, a lot of growth, a lot of healing, but also a lot of weird stuff going on, if you know what I mean. What kind of season are you in?
I say I'm in the season of literally just growing. Growing season. We're not always going to be the same, of course. But so sometimes in the season where you just need to just let things go and just grow. Just be content and just grow, honestly. Just grow in the season you're in. Accept the season you're in, and just have faith.
Yeah, that's definitely where I'm at right now. Just accepting things that I can't change, and just protecting my peace and just guarding my heart. I don't know, just a word for anyone, but if there's someone in your life that's caused you pain, some people from being your best, some people from literally growing or healing, or some people from going to a place that God's called you to be, it is okay to let them go. Family, friends, it's okay to let them go. If someone's not good for you, sorry, but your time is up with me. Like, respectfully, like I feel like everyone knows that friend, that family member that's too much, and they always bring you down. Friend, it's okay to be like, yeah, I can't be bothered with you. Like, I feel like you're doing too much. Like, I don't need you in my life. It's okay to say, yeah, your time with me is up. Like, it's actually okay to say that. I feel like that's the fear season I'm learning. Like, it's okay to tell people your time with me is up. Like, I feel like right now, you're not really adding to my life. I've been knew that you're not a good person. I've been knew that you've been pulling me down. But because I care about you, I love you, I want to still have you in my life. No, sorry. It can't work. It's time to go. Like, I feel like a lot of people are in that season right now. I just feel like that's words that say it. I feel like a lot of people are in this season right now where people are like being iffy and shady, or like changing and like being really dodgy. That is a sign from the Lord to leave that person alone.
I know it's crazy as well. A lot of people literally won't like the way won't like who you are, or like the way you're growing, because they feel like they can't do what you can do. Literally, there's so much insecurity to a point that they literally can't help but be jealous. Can't help but be jealous of your own growth and what you're doing in your life. You understand that you're not in charge of anyone's life. Everyone's in charge of their own life. So if you feel like that person literally hates on you, just of you, literally bring you down, literally move yourself away from them, because nothing good gonna come out of that situation.
Give them space, distance.
Yeah, literally.
Literally, this year, I'm definitely been growing and knowing, like, yeah, it's okay to give people distance.
Why you say that now?
DISTANCE. Distance.
I know they can spell. Like
For those that can't smell, DISTANS. Yo, I can't spell distance, guy. Send me back to school. Anyway, I'm so annoying. Anyway, I love y'all. It's Kerri. It's been Kerri.
it's been
It's been Kerri and Shakira.
Let me just take this mic. It was nice, obviously, speaking to you guys. I really hope that this message helped at least each and every one of you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And if you don't take anything from this podcast or anything from this episode, because it's probably all over the place, but I can't lie.
no, I'm not gonna lie. I even stuttered so many times.
If you don't take anything from this episode, please just take this. Think on the things you're thinking about and make sure that you remember a desire and a thought brings an action. A desire and a thought brings action. A desire and a thought brings an action. Be careful what you think about.
So make sure you design things that actually are pure.
Let me just give you a quote for the Bible. Think on things that are praiseworthy, pure, worthy of praise, pleasing to the Lord. Everything, like, think on pure things. We're not pure things are, innit? We know what we're supposed to think on. So think on these things that bring you joy, peace, and courage and love. Don't be thinking of things that are gonna make you that's gonna make you down. And about your past as well. Do not fantasize about your past. Your past is done. It's over and done with. Move on with your life. That is finished. That's a new era. You're going to a new era. You're going to a new you. Literally, that old life is gone. So just take care of yourself. And yeah, it's been Kerri.
And it's been Shakira.
And thank you for listening. Catch you all next time. Bye.